does asparagus make you poop? So first, let's cover this critical point. There's there's like 300 different varieties of asparagus, right? The kind you get in the grocery store is Asparagus officinalis. Delicious, nutritious. We'll talk a little bit about it here in a second. What we're talking about here too is really wild asparagus, and that is astragalus. Astragalus. It's another beautiful tonifying herb, but we're talking here about asparagus. Asparagus acutifolius. That's the western variety that's native to the Mediterranean and found in other places. On the eastern side in China, we're using Asparagus cochinchinensis, and in Ayurvedic medicine, you'll often see referenced Asparagus racemosus, right? And sometimes the otherwise known as Shivrati, and sometimes the Chinese variety and the Ayurvedic are kind of talked about as if they're one and the same herb, and while they're very similar and can be substituted for one another, they are different species. The Chinese is going to be an orange red root that is used medicinally. It's also edible. And the Ayurvedic version is a beige root, so they do have differences. And the Western variety, we're largely using the stem because it's so nutritious. And what does it contain? Fiber. What's fiber do? Makes you poo. The other thing this herb is really well known for, especially in the Oriental medicine variety, is tonifying the lungs and the large intestine. And the lungs and the large intestine are a team. They're a yin-yang pairing. And this is a very particularly yin herb, which means it cools, it moistens, and it nourishes. If you have hot, dried up intestines, you're either going to get constipated or you're going to have really hard, rough stools. So this is an herb that comes in and moistens all of that, right? It not only moistens the mucosa for the lungs and the throat and the sinuses, but into the stomach tract and all the way into the intestinal tract. Help you let go, and it does that emotionally as well. This is a very powerful spiritual herb. The lungs in Oriental medicine are said to be the source of wisdom, because you're breathing in not just oxygen, but this heavenly chi, this etheric energy. So this is an herb that's used for meditation practices and even for lucid dreaming. Yeah. So I think you want to check out our Healing Herb Health session about wild asparagus and find out how you can be eating it, how you can be taking advantage of its nutrition and a lot of its healing applications. Incredible for lung support and reproductive cycles for men and women. And this whole spiritual component, supporting kidney energy, right? This is beautiful. Depression, big time. And it's delicious. Hope you'll join me.